From SpongeBob's doorbell disappearing before our very eyes,
Just 1 minute, Squidward!
to Mr. Krabs' actual legs just going missing.
You could never pay me enough to act brotherly toward that guy.
SpongeBob SquarePants may be one of the greatest animated cartoons of all time, but over the course of its very long life, there have been a lot of errors in the animation. How do we miss these? Here we'll take a look at some of the weirdest, silly, or downright funny animator errors in SpongeBob. Let's start with the times the colors just did not make sense. Color mistakes are just some of the easiest to miss errors that often slip through animation. However, even when it happens just for a frame, it's hard to avoid it. For example, in the episode The Company Picnic, Mr. Krabs decides to take the company on a picnic after hearing that it can increase productivity. Naturally, things go wrong, but during the picnic, it seems that even the animators kind of forgot what to do. First, their picnic is crashed by the Chump Bucket's picnic.
Guess who? Layton!
Mr. Krabs had brought entertainment and food, but that may have just been a frisbee that's not really a frisbee.
Is this far enough?
I can't hear what you're saying. Here it comes!
The arrival of Plankton with a Chump Bucket's picnic, though, changes things. He's brought actual games, and Squidward immediately defects. So does Mr. Krabs after a bit and wins 2 walrus dolls. Here, there's another mistake. Those tusks that can be seen are yellow, but look what happens just moments later.
Woo! Having lots of fun over here. I've got a plate.
Well, someone forgot to color there. This isn't the only time either. In the episode The Checkup, SpongeBob's teeth appear completely yellow in a blink and you miss it moment when he lands, just for 1 frame.
Okay, that's enough. You want me to...
Ugh, the dentist will not be happy about that one. Teeth are not the only things getting the wrong colors. Squidward is famously blue-greenish. However, in the episode Squid's Day Off, he does what he loves to do, yell at SpongeBob. Except this time, his tension seems to be getting the best of him because what color is that on his neck? Where'd the green go?
I don't like your tone.
I'm sure you are. How's that?
Yeah, he may need to see a doctor about that. Speaking of brown, there's one SpongeBob character who's known for having brown fur, Sandy the Squirrel. Unfortunately for her, though, there was a mistake in the episode Best Day Ever, her poor tail.
What'd you do again?
And I hate to admit it, but I suppose if you hadn't fixed my reed, the concert would have been a bust.
Finally, there's the mystery of the ever-changing nose. In the episode Yeti Krabs, things are going as usual. Mr. Krabs is yelling at Squidward or lazing around, while he puts up a rather strong defense.
Tentacles, I mean it. You get back to minding that register.
Minding it for which customer?
I see your point. But still,
Even if Squidward would have had work to do, SpongeBob just does it all before him.
like shine in me shoes.
Polish.
But I'm not.
Wash me boat!
Man, I sure could do with that sort of energy. Squidward refuses to work, so Mr. Krabs threatens him with a visit from the Yeti Crab. What's that? Apparently a Yeti Crab that visits lazy workers and takes them apart before eating them. Well, that can't be good for Squiddy. But apparently it's SpongeBob that's more worried because those around the lazy workers will not be spared either. Is that just Mr. Krabs without his beauty sleep? The Yeti finally makes his way down to the Krusty Krab, even if it's not to eat the lazy. He seems more eager to just eat, more normal food. Meanwhile, Squidward thinks that it's just Mr. Krabs.
Do you mind?
Sorry, Squidward, just varnishing the ceiling.
I hope you're happy, Mr. Krabs. You're driving him insane. Yeah. You'll eat me if I'm lazy. Whatever.
Now that we know what Squidward's mistake is, where did the animators leave an error? When the Yeti roars in Squidward's face, in the upper part of the screen, the nose which was pink before changes color.
Didn't brush this morning, did we?
Oops, that's not the only time either. Moments later, when SpongeBob heads to the table, there it is again before it changes back to pink.
No.
Alright, that's enough of that. Let's move on to the next category, and it's dedicated to lip sync errors, where the words and the lip movement do not match. In Whatever Happened to SpongeBob, when the sponge goes missing, all his friends get worried. Well, except for Squidward. When he comes across a machine that Sandy brings to find SpongeBob, he ends up destroying it. But wait, when he's talking about it, it's like his lips are moving in slow motion.
Well, you're saying this thing can actually find SpongeBob?
You got it, Squid Cake!
That just looks completely creepy. Also, he needs to do less destroying. Without SpongeBob, he'll have to do all the work. Another error happened in the episode Shanghai, when Patchy the Pirate says to roll the cartoon. It's clear that his lips are saying something else entirely.
Well, roll the cartoon.
I mean, he just blew up, so if he was cursing up a storm, I wouldn't blame him. In Grandma's Kisses, SpongeBob's grandmother comes to visit and gives him a kiss on his forehead, and everyone makes fun of him. He is now adamant that he will not get a kiss from his grandmother again, because he's too grown up. But seeing his grandmother treat Patrick like a baby instead gets him crying so much that he floods her house. But grandmas can make everything better. She explains that he doesn't have to be a baby to get her love, but when he replies, "I don't," his mouth in the reflection of the water doesn't move.
You don't have to be a baby to get old Grandma's love.
I don't.
Come on, SpongeBob, spell it out. Or it's SpongeBob's reflection, I guess. Now, these lip sync errors can still be excused, but that's not all that's wrong with the animation. We're talking missing or extra parts now. Sometimes things that are there disappear, or things that aren't supposed to be there appear. This category is very simple to understand. Now, some of these can be hard to spot as well. For example, one can be seen when SpongeBob decides to serve burgers in a manner that cannot be hygienic at all.
Thank you!
Just where did that lettuce come from? There's another error in The Best Day Ever. SpongeBob is certain that he's about to have a great day. In fact, he's written a whole song about it.
It's the best day ever.
Unfortunately for him, his best day ever is just not off to a great start. He tries to get into the restaurant, but it's completely taped up. On top of that, there's a huge mistake here. As we can see originally, the door of the Krusty Krab is the only part of the restaurant not taped up. However, seconds later, a lock appears, and the entire restaurant is taped up, including the door.
We got ourselves a nematode infestation!
Where'd that come from? That's not the only thing that disappears, though. The Krusty Krab sign disappears as a whole, when it was seen seconds earlier. Well, now folks won't be able to find the restaurant that's closed. Then, signs disappearing seem to be a common theme. In Love That Squid, Squidward is doing what he does best, taking a break while at work.
Excuse me, a patty for the lady, please.
Try reading the sign, Casanova.
But the animators may not really want him to take that break. Take that sign away.
Oh, Squidward, why are you torturing yourself with tales of romance?
Squidward, you dropped your hook.
That's no hook.
That sign disappeared in the time it took for SpongeBob to squeeze a book through his eye and out through his mouth. Why is that insanely fast, though? Then again, that's not all that disappears. A sign disappearing, yeah, that's one thing. But where did the boat go in the next scene?
See you at 8, Squidward.
You okay, Squidward? You froze up there, buddy.
What do you mean?
I mean, when was the last time you went out on a date?
SpongeBob clearly stands in front of the boat here, but then the moment it zooms in on him, the boat's not behind him anymore. It reappears again seconds later, though, but that's quite a disappearing act. The animators are magicians. Going back to signs for a second here. In Enemy in Law, there is clearly an advertisement on the Krusty Krab window for a burger, but the moment Plankton, who is in disguise by the way, enters the restaurant, the sign is gone.
I've reservations for 2 tonight.
See? Where'd it go? Next, in the episode The Executive Treatment, Patrick has disguised himself as an executive to try out the new Krusty Krab Executive Burger. But then he gets carried out to the office with the rest of the executives. They say corporate jobs are often where dreams go to die. Well, here at least, it seems it's where graphs go to disappear. First, we see several graphs in the background, but the next second, they're gone, and no one had the time to turn the page.
Just stop and think for a minute about what your colleague here is really trying to say.
Yes. Maybe I was too hasty about that.
But that's not all. While Patrick is drawing, and even earlier, when we see the rest of the execs, the table in front of them is empty.
Does he like my chart? He's smiling.
He smiles like that when he's really angry.
But then, seconds later, there are cups in front of them when the boss talks about the metaphorical, and apparently literal, last straw.
Mister, this is the last straw.
I wish I could summon coffee like that. Come on, coffee! Nope. But don't worry, surely this sort of thing can't keep happening, right? Actual parts of buildings surely can't fall off as well, and don't look now, SpongeBob's house would like to correct us. Initially, we see the chimney that SpongeBob's house always has when they're rushing home after seeing a scary film. But moments later, when they're calling out to let each other know that they're okay and are home safe, something is different.
Patrick! Are you okay?
Yeah! Are you okay?
I think so! Good night!
Wait, where'd the chimney go? If this keeps up, SpongeBob's gonna be dealing with smoke inhalation issues. But then again, did a chimney under the water make sense in the first place? So was this error actually just fixing another bigger mistake? Some things are better left unquestioned. Like, whatever happened to Patrick's hat? In the episode Kenny the Cat, the two were sitting around to cheer SpongeBob's personal hero, Kenny the Cat, for his remarkable achievement of being able to hold his breath underwater for days at a time. They're in a celebratory mood, and Patrick has a large sponge hat on that could offend the fashion sensibilities of just about anybody.
Kenny the cat! Kenny the cat! Kenny the cat!
You do know that Kenny won't be here until 10.
But moments later, after SpongeBob applies makeup on Patrick to make him feel more cat-like, something changes.
Let's paint our faces to look like Kenny! Perfect!
The hat is gone. Not only is it gone from the top of Patrick's head, but it's also disappeared altogether from the background as well. Leaving SpongeBob and his obsession for now, we all know there's one thing that Mr. Krabs loves, and that is money. But when he wants to save more money than usual, he does the unthinkable to SpongeBob.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, what's the good word?
Well, actually, SpongeBob, there's 2 words. And they're not very good. You're fired.
Yeah, SpongeBob fired from the Krusty Krab. Probably the worst thing that could have ever happened to him. No, that can't be.
You're fired!
Oh, no! Not that! Anything but that!
Okay, maybe it can. But this time Mr. Krabs has gone too far. The Krusty Krab without SpongeBob? There's no such thing. This must have had a really bad effect on the animators. They forgot whole tables existed.
Okay, that's enough. It's closing time. You know, it just won't be the same around here without you. You'll have to visit sometime. As a customer.
If you look closely, after Squidward carts SpongeBob out of the restaurant, there are tables in the background of the first scene, but moments later, they've completely disappeared. But that's not all that's disappearing. At home, when SpongeBob goes to feed Gary, everyone can see that there are multiple cans of snail food inside. But the very next day, when he goes to feed them, they're gone.
Sorry, Gary, you must be starving. Don't worry, Gare Bear. I'll open up a can of snail po for you. Oh, no.
So they either animated too many cans in the cupboard in the first scene, or Gary's been going on late-night binges, eh? Well, wait. He doesn't have any arms. Patrick? Meanwhile, having been fired from the Krusty Krab restaurant, SpongeBob has been trying out for different positions elsewhere and getting fired from all of them for turning every food into burgers. But one of them wants him back by any means necessary. Literally.
Mr. Weenie?
Congratulations, SpongeBob. You've been promoted.
But you just fired me.
But look closely. Just during that scene where SpongeBob tells Mr. Weenie that he just fired him, the weenie hat changes. That's the Krusty Krab hat.
You've been promoted.
But you just fired me.
That's mustard under the bun, my boy.
Guess you can take the sponge out of the crab, but you can't take the crab out of the sponge. Okay, gross. But that's not the grossest thing to happen. In The Incredible Shrinking Sponge, a tiny SpongeBob is stuck having grown small and is trying to free an urchin from a mousetrap.
You are free to go.
Not a sight anyone wanted to see, but wait, did you notice? In the very next scene, the teeth and hands that had fallen off are back in place. I mean, there's no need to keep SpongeBob armless for the entire episode, but at least a few more seconds, right? I know it's just a gag, but hey, the mousetrap disappeared too. That's not the only thing disappearing. Mr. Krabs, trying to think of a way to make money using the tiny SpongeBob, decides to launch a personal hygiene service using him. One fish is very excited by this.
Personal hygiene service? Did you see that? Personal hygiene service.
But wait, Where'd he go? In the entire line of fishies, he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe he changed his mind? But that's not all the mistakes eagle-eyed viewers have noticed. Sometimes, other than things disappearing, there are some errors taking place in the background of the show the animators missed as well. In Lost in Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob and Squidward are making their way to work at the Krusty Krab. However, SpongeBob wants to get there faster. Squidward explains that the road from where they are to the Krusty Krab is just a straight line they have to follow.
We're walking in a straight line.
I don't follow.
A straight line is the shortest distance between any 2 points.
Seconds later, when they look at the road though, it's not looking like the shortest distance between 2 points at all.
Look, the Krusty Krab is right at the end of the block.
Yoo-hoo! That road changed real fast. Then we've got the episode The Executive Treatment again. There's a fish named Marv, and all he wants to do is be the perfect corporate employee. But, well, Patrick's there, so... But wait, who's that in the very next scene where Patrick reveals his identity? It's Marv. He's back again.
Well, I got a surprise for you.
Where'd he go?
You can't fire me. I'm not an executive at all. I'm just a guy who happens to like sandwiches.
How'd he make it back inside? And even more so, how'd he get his arm unbroken? Then again, that's not the strangest thing to happen. At least Marv is a one-time character. Squidward's workstation is iconic. Not iconic enough to save it from vanishing, though.
Now let me see. Oh, this'll be perfect!
What?
It's clear that the workstation is just not there in the background. Although Squidward probably wishes it were gone forever. But this one was just one boat and workstation. The next one has to be the most egregious background error of all time in SpongeBob history. In Don't Look Now, Patrick and SpongeBob go to see a horror movie, but the audience for that movie has more movement than Patrick's mouth in a restaurant.
No seats.
Yeah! Seats taken, sir. Ooh, the movie's starting.
In the very first few seconds in the row behind SpongeBob and Patrick, a fish suddenly appears in what was before an empty seat. On top of that, the purple fish disappears and is replaced by another fish. And even more so, the row behind that, an old fish is seen sitting in the first few seconds, but he's replaced as well. Where'd they all go? Wait, is that the purple fish in the third row? Also, the fish in the back few rows are all different. But there's no old fish at all. Guess he had to run to the bathroom. But, well, there won't be any more changes after this, right? No.
Sorry.
The dark green fish has already moved away from the red fish. On top of that, the two friends were so scared watching the movie the first time, they missed most of it. So they rewatch it, and this time they have a plan. Patrick and SpongeBob are not about to miss this movie a second time. Not if they can help it, at least.
Okay, keep your eyes open.
No problem.
I love eating ice cream.
Patrick, I'm getting scared. Hold my eyelids open.
I'm on it.
But wait, something has gone very wrong this time.
Must close eyes. Too scary.
I can't hold your eyelids. They're too slippery. No!
The row behind them appears out of nowhere. As before, the fish that was sitting directly behind them has moved further back. On top of that, the fish behind this fish has moved further as well. What exactly was this? A game of musical chairs? At least played the music for that. But hey, these were with background characters, alright? Moral of the story, nothing too big. Let's get to the errors that can turn SpongeBob from a fun little cartoon to body horror. Back in SpongeBob You're Fired, when SpongeBob is home getting Gary's food out of the can, his hand does things that no one thought it could. I mean, we know that SpongeBob is flexible, but rolling his hand around a can that many times?
I used to feed everyone in Bikini Bottom.
But in the very next scene, when he pours the food out for Gary, his hand can be seen rolled around it even more times. He's a sponge, not elastic.
Now I just feed you.
If he spun it a few more times, we might have had a very dry sponge on our hands. In the episode Friend or Foe, when Mr. Pirateson appears for the first time, we see that he has two hooks.
Say hello to my boss, Mr. Pirateson. Darn! 1 order of scurvy fries, 1 large Bilgewater.
But seconds later, something changes. Can you see it?
Diet Bilgewater. Get right on it, sir.
Now, this may not be necessarily an animation error, but come on, this should have been an easy one to spot. Seconds later, when he's turning away, we see that only his right hand had the hook, and the left hand is normal. Yeah, if only the pirates of old could have done this. Maybe they'd be less, salty. Someone give me a raise! Now back to animation. In Caring for Spot, we see that Plankton has a heart after all. He cares for his dog. Amoeba, Spot. But he's gotta leave and is going to leave Karen in charge. Don't worry, he's given enough instructions.
I left lots of instructions for Mommy, so she knows exactly how to care for you while I'm gone. My widow man just needs lots of extra love. Anything happened to him?
Oh, your taxi.
Surely that won't overwhelm her and lead to disaster, right? Right?
Looks like it's just you and me, Spot. Spot? Oh, Plankton's instructions!
Right. Well, later in the episode, when Karen grabs Spot to feed him his pill, something rather strange happens. Where are his spots?
Fine. You're still hungry? I'll give you all the nourishment you'll ever need.
A spotless Spot? Also, Karen does sound a bit psychotic there. No, Karen, don't give him that pill.
Here, I synthesized a perpetual nutrient pill. You'll be full. Forever. Huh?
Karen, is he supposed to be getting bigger?
Plankton comes back and sees the inflated Spot. He's very upset, and this starts an argument between him and Karen. When Karen hangs him upside down, though, something changes. For a few frames, his mouth is not visible at all, even when he's talking.
You probably made Spot bigger than me on purpose to make me feel small!
Plankton without his mouth might be Mr. Krabs' dream, but unfortunately that's just an animation error. Mr. Krabs will have to keep wishing. Karen may need some recharging after that episode, but then again, the animators can't quite decide just what sort of charger she has. In Plankton Retires, a frustrated Plankton is ranting about how he can't seem to get the better of Mr. Krabs ever, no matter what he tries, and he's tried just about everything, even Plan Z. Karen comes up to comfort him, and it's clear that she's not plugged into anything here.
I fly through the air, he flies through the air. I have had enough!
Aw, someone needs their papa. Isn't that better?
But seconds later, when he goes to the floor, a plug appears, just when he does the unthinkable to his robot wife.
No, Karen, that's just not gonna work anymore. Don't you see? We're done here.
He said for the 9 billionth time. You know, Sheldon, if I had a dime for every time you...
Now that's rude. Learn to have a conversation, buddy. Meanwhile, in The Lost Mattress, we get something that would actually be in a horror movie. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward are all at the garbage dump trying to find Mr. Krabs' mattress that they threw away because it was too lumpy or something. But turns out it was lumpy because he hid all of his money in it. Now they need it back, but there's a guard worm.
Oh, SpongeBob, he likes your wooden spoon.
Wow, I think you're right, Patrick.
See if he plays catch.
Okay, see the stick, boy? Go get it, boy!
Squidward is focused elsewhere during all those shenanigans, but wait, is this the headless Squid Man?
Hey, I needed a wooden spoon. I'll just keep it safe from harm in my back pocket. And now for the mattress. I should have guessed.
When he gets bitten, Squidward's head is not connected to his body. His entire neck disappears. Well, that's not good news. But speaking of body horror, let's keep talking about horror. In Welcome to Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob and his friends are in an alternate reality where they are all robots. Sandy's a giant android head, aka Sandroid. She is awoken and about to merge everyone in Goo Lagoon into a hideous monster. Well, that just sounds like a very bad day. When Sandroid and the rest of the fused together monster rises above the water, several characters can be seen stuck to different parts of the body. On the bottom left leg, we can see Mrs. Puff. But wait, who's that in the very next shot? Mrs. Puff is also standing there watching the android rise. What? Robo-Rube also chooses this moment to take a picture of Sandroid, but when his head comes back together, he does not have a mouth for just a split second.
Amazing!
Yes, I noticed that. No, I'm not obsessed. Sandroid does not really enjoy this and snatches him up, as well as everyone else. Rube is put in between SpongeBob and Squidbot.
Well, this is another fine metallic monstrosity you've got me into.
But then, the very next shot, we see Sandroid from a distance. It's clear that Rube has vanished completely. Poor Rube. He must have gotten completely absorbed. Disappearing in a robot is one thing, but there's even more body horror waiting. Remember earlier in the video when Mr. Krabs didn't have his legs?
You could never pay me enough to act brotherly toward that guy.
Turns out this has happened more than just once. SpongeBob may be telling jokes in this next clip, but Mr. Krabs' whole legs vanishing? Now that's nothing to laugh about.
That's true.
Crabs? Oh, brother. They're so cheap, they can't even pay attention.
It's true! I am cheap!
Not only is he cheap, he seems to have gotten rid of his legs. Did he sell them? With Mr. Krabs, you just never know. But Mr. K is not the only one with disappearing legs either. In Dying for Pies, Squiddy only has 2 legs instead of his usual 4.
Could never pay me enough to act brotherly toward that guy.
Forget Squidward's legs, Mr. Krabs is straight up levitating in that scene. That's not the last case of missing legs either. In The Algae is Always Greener, Squidward finds himself in the kitchen, and once again, he only has 2 legs.
Hope you like gray.
Hey, Squidward, I can see you through this little window.
The hat-slinging slasher must be slashing legs or something, man. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a thief who's stealing them. Now, we've seen that there's been a lot of body horror down in Bikini Bottom, but that's not all this mysterious thief apparently is stealing. In what is a recurring theme across a lot of SpongeBob episodes, the chum bucket mysteriously vanishes. In The Best Day Ever, when SpongeBob is walking down to the Krusty Krab, the chum bucket is just not there across the street, and neither is the pathway that leads up to it. That is, of course, not the only time. It keeps happening. In SpongeBob You're Fired, the chum bucket is missing once again. It's not just once, but throughout the whole episode. Whenever there's a wide shot of the Krusty Krab, the chum bucket is just nowhere to be seen. It should be right there behind him, but there's no road there. In fact, at the start of the episode, he doesn't even attempt to get a job there when Mr. Krabs lets him go. And for good reason.
Man, is it gonna be sweet without that pest around? This day couldn't get any better.
When Squiddy wheels him out of there, there are buildings visible in the background, but no chum bucket, disappearing job opportunities everywhere. In Bummer Vacation, this theme continues as well. SpongeBob has been given a vacation from his usual job and he doesn't like it. Mr. Krabs keeps telling him to go away, but this sponge only knows work.
I'll deal with this. Boy, you're on Krusty Krab property. Back it up. Further. 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 Further!
Notice that the camera points exactly to where the chum bucket would be, but not only is it not there, neither is the path that leads to the chum bucket again. Back to Friend or Foe, even though the episode's story deals with Plankton, his own restaurant, the chum bucket, is just not there. When a birthday cake arrives at the start of the episode, the chum bucket, which should be directly across the street, is missing.
Something ain't right.
It should be visible right there, but no, nowhere to be seen. On another instance, in The Lost Mattress, when SpongeBob is seen sobbing in front of the Krusty Krab, we see the camera pan out, and once again, surprise, surprise, no chum bucket.
What are we gonna do, Squidward? There are Krabby Patties inside, all alone.
The chum bucket keeps mysteriously disappearing. No wonder Plankton's so upset all the time. Finally, after all these animation errors, we come to some of the worst, the most egregious, the most unbelievable mistakes of all time. These errors should never have passed through a simple review, and the fact that they exist is very worrying. In the episode Life Insurance, SpongeBob and Patrick are determined to get life insurance as they believe that this will protect them, but maybe they have a bit of it wrong here.
Oh boy, life insurance! Life insurance! Life insurance! Life insurance! What's life insurance?
I'm not sure, but I think it means that for the rest of our lives, we are protected. We can't get hurt.
Not quite sure life insurance works like that, but okay. Squidward also buys into the whole life insurance thing, and he really believes it too, and he walks right through a brick wall.
What you gonna do, Squidward?
What does it look like? I'm running into a wall!
It's clearly just a painting, but far be it from me to burst his bubble. But as they're walking down the street, something strange happens.
Did you see that? I ran right through a brick wall. I'm hard as nail.
Did you notice that? Look again.
Ran right through a brick wall. I'm hard as nail.
The rock phases right through Patrick like he's not there. If that had been his head, that would have made sense given how hollow it is, but through the stomach? Nay, sir. That's not even the worst error. Once again, in the executive treatment, things go really wild. Before we've seen how Patrick gets pushed along into the office and has to pretend to be an executive. But how did he get there in the first place? Well, let's watch.
For the big brainstorming meeting.
Save my sandwich for me, Squidward!
At first, there are 7 executives pushing him along, but by the end, that turns into 22. This gets worse though. When they finally get to their office, count how many executives actually enter through the door. Only 5. Where'd the rest go? Looks like we got the case of the disappearing executives too. They may be completely replaceable with one another, but this is taking it way too far. In Funny Pants, it's Sandy's turn to be messed with. SpongeBob has lost the ability to laugh and he's very sad. He's tried everything and now goes to Sandy, hoping that she can help him with her scientific know-how. Well, she has just the right diagram for it, or so she thinks. Just as she goes to pull the graph down though, for a split second, her whole tail disappears.
But scientifically speaking, it's caused by your epiglottis constricting your larynx.
Taking away a squirrel's tail? Is this what we've come to? But there's something even more horrible. What could be worse than no tail? 2. In Feral Friends, Sandy is enjoying her birthday with her friends when something seems to shake them. There's an earthquake as a volcano explodes, with a green moon appearing. But that is obviously no normal moon. It's turning our beloved characters into the real versions of themselves.
Jeez!
SpongeBob! Patrick! Everyone listen to me! Get away from the light! The light is bad!
For some reason, the mood doesn't have any effect on Sandy, but when the mood finally disappears, it's followed by Neptune's son. This time, it's Sandy who gets turned into a squirrel. This time, she's the feral one, but wait, what just happened here?
You don't see that every day!
Even though Sandy is changed into a regular squirrel and she has a tail of her own tail stays outside the suit. 2 tails? Was Sandy two-tailed the whole time? That's the sort of thing fantasy stories are made of. But even after an extra tail, more people appearing and disappearing, or even a rock floating through Patrick, there's still something worse that slipped through the cracks. In Missing Identity, one of the worst mistakes made by the animators can be seen. SpongeBob is trying to retrace his steps from the morning with Patrick, but do you notice something wrong here?
Okay, Patrick, you know the plan, right?
I got it. You're gonna retrace your steps, and when you walk by me, I say hi, just like this morning.
Perfect! I guess I should start with when I woke up.
Squidward's house is missing. The whole house just up and vanished. The squid's not gonna be happy when he sees this. You would think that doing this once would be enough for this mistake to never happen again, but no. In the episode In Spongiac, it's happened again, and this time, it's even more evident. Squidward's house, which is supposed to be between SpongeBob and Patrick's, is just not there. SpongeBob just can't get any sleep no matter how much he tries, and he goes over to Patrick's house.
What am I gonna do? I need some help!
Once again, Squidward's house is not there, and Patrick's house is way closer than it should be. Yeah, Squidward definitely will not be happy about this. Well, that's all the crazy errors that we have time for today, but if you want more animated goodness, click the link on screen right about now. And as always, thank you for watching.